Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to rip and label a print. This is a block print from this semester, and we used a different material to create this, so it might look a little bit different. Regardless of what print you have, they're all going to be ripped the same way. If you do an intaglio print, a collagraph print, they're all ripped the same way. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So this person printed, and when they put their print on here, it was a little close to the edge, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to rip here. Regardless, whatever size you want your border to be for this block, they all need to be the exact same. So don't make one of them have a thick border and one have a thin border, or even on this one, don't make one edge thick and one thin. So they all need to have the same border, each piece, each side. So since this one was a little small, I'm gonna go ahead and start with that side, that small side. And I just like to hold my ruler straight up so I can see that my edge is straight against the edge of the block print. And then I'm gonna lay it down, and you have to hold your ruler still. And then rip along the edges. So you get a nice rip like this. And I'm gonna do that to all four sides so you have a nice rip. So the reason that people, again, I'm measuring to make sure, I'm kind of just eyeballing it. You can eyeball, you don't need to. But do a good job. Make sure that it's straight. The reason that you rip prints is because typically printmaking paper is made on a, well, all paper is made with this thing called a decal. It's like a screen, almost like a window screen. And you have like watered down fibers. So you can have cotton paper, you can have flax paper, you can have all kinds of paper. So you have these watered down fibers, and you pull this screen up through the water, collecting those fibers, and once it dries, you have a sheet of paper. Well, that decal creates an edge that looks similar to this. And so if you are in printmaking, you want it to look like you printed your piece directly in the middle of that deckled piece of paper. But it's not always the case, because typically people will purchase paper that's huge and they put multiple prints on that piece of paper, just like you guys do in class. Really, we use a bigger piece. So anyway, it's just more professional, and that's why all prints are ripped. And so I'm going to show you how to label this real quick. I need to grab a pencil, but here's what it should look like. All borders are even. It has a nice deckled edge, and we're going to go ahead and label. So when you label these, each print needs to be labeled. And when you label them, you want to use a pencil. That's another thing. You don't want to use a pen. You always want to use a pencil to label, especially in case you make a mistake. So you're going to label them best out of, so this is a series of 5. So say you do 12. Your best one's going to be 1 out of 12. Your worst one's going to be 12 out of 12. This is her best one, but she did 5. And so we're going to do a 1 out of 5. And that's going to be in your bottom right-hand corner, or sorry, your bottom left-hand corner. And then you're going to put a title in the middle. Make sure you put it in quotations. So this is going to be, I'm going to write "The Sun." And then you sign it on the edge. Now I'll have to erase this for her so she can do it herself, but this is just the example I'm using. So this is what the bottom of your print should look like. So you can see 1 out of 5 over there, the title's in the middle, and the signature's on the side. If I cannot read your signature, please write your name on the back, because that would be what I would have to do, because you can't read my signature. But anyway, this is what every single one of your prints should look like. They should all be clean, even, labeled correctly, and stacked in order from best to worst, and then you guys can paper clip them and turn them in.